Today is our last day of yacht training, and guess who's taking the helm?
I am.
That's right, Taylor, who has never driven a boat in her life prior to our first day of training 3 days ago, is captaining this 48-foot Navigator motor yacht and docking it in some windy conditions. If you saw our last video, then you know the weather hasn't been great for us.
It's nasty up here.
We faced 45-knot gusts and had to hunker down, rolling at the dock as we waited for the storm to pass. If you're new here, we're Kevin and Taylor, who have 2 little ones in tow and recently decided to change course from van life to boat life. We have plans to cruise America's Great Loop this winter, but until then, we need to build our sea legs and learn how to operate this boat. So it's Taylor's turn to take the helm, and let's see how she does docking this thing.
Oh, we're all eating waffles. Let's go.
I made you waffles.
All right. Well, let me go fill up the water and then I'll get them. How'd you sleep last night?
I was waking up at 11:30, 4, until now. I just haven't gone back to sleep. So, okay, I guess.
The wind shifted from the north to the south, so we were getting rollers last night. And we have our crossing today, but the winds are going to be in the 20s or 20 mile an hour gusts, but it should be lightening up a little bit. So hopefully that's the case. But it still looks pretty mean out. So we'll see. We're not going to be crossing until noon, and that's dependent on how the weather is because it's really foggy out there. Hopefully we can get across. Waffles for breakfast?
Waffles for breakfast. Poppies are all gone. He ate them. They're in his belly. They're delicious. Why? One left.
Doing good.
Doing excellent.
Dead rise going out. Good sign. It is currently 8:15 and we have training. Our last day of training starting at 8:30. So I'm just getting us ready. I went down in the engine room already. Did all the necessary oil checks, looked at the hoses, the belts, looked for any leaking oil. Everything seems good. Hopefully we'll be all right. What you say every time, I guess. But the weather is finally starting to calm down a little bit. It's been a rough 2 days. Nasty weather.
Once Scott arrived, we did some knowledge-based training before leaving the dock to talk through how the engine controls influence the boat.
The port and forward, it's a left-handed prop, so it's rotating in this direction, and it will pull the stern over. But when it does that, what does it do?
Pushes the back out.
Pushes the bow back out. So in order to get a stern over while you're going forward, we have forward momentum, you pull starboard in reverse. Right, and that pulls the stern over and keeps your forward momentum with your bow that way, and it will just pull this boat right up against the dock.
We found this training method very helpful. Sitting down, talking through the different situations, and drawing it on paper to visualize how the controls maneuver the boat was very helpful.
Alright, you got this, girl.
This looks real small now.
You got it.
Okay, as we're getting ready to leave the dock, before we untie, I am making sure all of our controls are operating as expected. This includes the throttles, transmission controls, and the bow thruster.
Good. So you feel how stiff that's going to be.
So there's only one forward, correct? Like it's not like a car where you're like in different gears.
Right.
Okay.
Other boats, they have the single control. It's out of neutral, and then the more you go, the more gas you go. So this is just putting it in forward and reverse.
Okay.
Once confirmed, it's time for Kevin to untie the lines. In our previous episodes, we shared how we assess the lines and identify which ones will be our short ties. We're taking off the bow line first, then the stern line.
Learning how to be a line handler. Here we go. Stern is off.
It gets the spring line once I start moving, correct?
Yeah, because it'll be easier that way.
Right.
But he can untie it, and then you're ready to tell him.
Okay. All right. So forward.
Forward, then reverse. Forward, then neutral. You just want to see your stern kick out.
Scott is assisting me with the controls, suggesting which throttles to adjust as we pull out of the slip.
Port reverse. That's going to keep the stern off the other dock.
Okay.
All right, now neutral. Now both forward, just touch it forward and then neutral.
Now port reverse, starboard forward. And Kevin, is she clear? Both forward, but port neutral.
Oh, port control.
Yep. And just keeping us off that dock. You're doing good. Now port reverse.
Port reverse.
Starboard neutral. We're gonna thrust over to get the bow going. Go ahead and thrust a little bit. All right, port neutral.
Neutral.
All right. Now when we're in this position, you are good. Both forward and start steering with the wheel. Take the bow over that way. Yep. Yep.
Oh man.
She's a big girl.
My first goal is to get out into the open water so I can play with the controls a little and get a better feel for how this boat handles.
Good job, Tail. How's it feel?
I mean, it felt good, but it's going to be nerve-wracking when I don't have someone telling me forward.
Well, so I'm not, I think it'll be less nerve-wracking because I think intuition-wise you were doing the right thing.
So that's my bad. I should have went straight to the back and let you know that you were clear, and I was dilly-daggling up with my bow line.
Oh, that's okay.
If you want to go all the way into idle, just push those down and then play with the transmissions to get the feel for what the boat's doing when you're forward reverse. And just kind of think about it like pretend there's an imaginary dock that you want to come into, what you're going to do. And Taylor, just right now, so like this, what do you think the stern should be doing with this setup right here?
I should be going this way.
That's correct. And that's, I like the way you did that because you understand that it's the stern moving. Now let's say you have wind and you weren't moving when you're like this. You could give it a little more throttle and watch how much faster the boat turns when we give it the throttle.
So
now we're really turning.
It's okay then to give it throttle on just one?
Yes, but
Okay.
here's the thing. Let's say we were fighting the wind and we need just a little bit more. It's like this.
Oh, just a
And
very...
then go back.
Yeah.
All right, because you just want to get the momentum.
Right.
And then you can run off that momentum a good ways.
Okay. But you don't...
So shrimp boats
So this
went
will
out.
turn me this way, right?
That's right.
Okay. And then if I do it the opposite way, it'll turn me the other
You
way.
got it. And so let's let it turn like that. So let's say when we're straight ahead, that's when we want it to stop. When are you going to shift that?
Probably once I get to like that buoy.
Yep. About
Right
30
now.
degrees. Yep. From when it's stuck. Just put them both in neutral. See how the boat continues to turn?
Yeah.
And if you needed it to stop dead ahead where that gap is, you could just put forward.
Port.
Yep. And then neutral. See how that stopped you?
Yeah.
So it's just a touch. These props are big props, so they really move the boat well, and you got to use that. And they're tight. They're not going to fall off. You let us know when you want to try a dock. You can do a side tie first, like a T-head first, so you get used to an object.
Make them turn that way, right?
Yep. And if you want to turn without
Faster,
going
go
and
this way.
without going forward, you do both.
In the same motion.
Oh.
In the circle.
So if I use just one, I'm gonna go forward or backward a little depending on...
Which is handy.
makes-
Which is very handy. Sometimes you want to go back and over, so just use the one. I'm going to have you go in, and then I'm going to tell you what T-head to dock at. So you're going to have to spin the boat 180,
Okay.
and then edge up to the dock.
Okay.
All right, let's go, girl.
And
You got this.
yeah, to take off, let's go out and around.
Right.
Because I don't want you getting close to this guy's fish net. Look at her, she's like, I want power.
I mean, not a lot, just a little.
Damn.
What?
I said, damn. I didn't touch the power until after the lift.
Well, you weren't in this big area. Trust me, these won't be being touched when we're in that small section.
He's more concerned you're burning fuel, probably.
Yeah, Scott already knows I'm a cheapo, I guess. You can tell by the way I communicate. Okay, it's now showtime. Tay's first attempt pulling up to the dock will be at the T-head.
As we're coming into the marina, the goal for Tay is to make sure that our rudders are pointing straight, since we still have to get our rudder indicator fixed. Once she feels the rudder is straight, she'll no longer need to use the steering wheel and will be operating the boat strictly from the transmissions and the bow thruster.
I go into neutral now.
You can go to neutral now and maybe port forward, just to steer us a little bit over there. So now you're going to steer with the throttle. You're not going to use the wheel anymore. Right. Now neutral. Go ahead and stop the boat.
Stop the boat. Up and back, right?
No, both in reverse.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right, now neutral. All right, now you're stopped. Now you can feel yourself being blown, right?
Yeah.
So now do port and reverse. Port. Yep. And see, this is going to take us reverse and back. So I want to get us away from the dock a little bit. All right, now neutral. Now let's give it forward, starboard. Yep, yep. And port reverse. All right, now when you get turned, go ahead and put them both in neutral, and you can push them both forward now. And that'll stop that turning momentum. And now use the throttles to guide yourself in, just like a shopping cart. I'm gonna let you do it from here. Keep that one on for a little bit. That's good. All right, now neutral. Yep. I'll let you do it from here. Very good. Slow your speed. There you go. Yep. Yep. Get a little bit farther up. Yeah. One up. There you go.
Look at that.
Touch it forward a little bit more on starboard forward. There you go, neutral. You're against the dock.
Awesome.
All right.
Did I hit?
He kissed the dock. He kissed it.
Just barely. So now look, so the wind's kicking you out. So if you want to get back, just put.
Reverse.
Yep. Yep. They're good. They're good. All right, we're against the dock.
Tay did a good job.
But it makes sense.
Successful side tie here. Are you having fun? Is it fun, you think, or?
I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking, but I like trying to learn it.
Yeah. Good job.
Now let's say we're side tied. We have a boat in front of us, so we can't leave the dock going forward. We don't want to do that anyway. So in order to leave a dock like this, we're going to have to kick the stern out and back up. All right, so there might be a boat at that slip, a boat right in front of us. So we need to turn pretty quick. One thing you have to watch for, and Kevin, this is good for you too. If you're in a side tie like this and you have the piles right here, you have limited room to turn, because while your stern's kicking out, which is good, your bow's going in, and it can take out power pedestals, it can take out piles. So it might be bump in, bump in, bump in, thrust out, bump, bump, thrust out. So it's kind of intuition that you have to use, and a little bit more of an art than a science, but you do know to turn without moving back right away, it's both throttles, right? So if you wanted to leave this dock, and I explained what the situation is, you could turn both, but as soon as you do that, you're going to have to thrust out too, so the bow doesn't hit that pile right there.
As you heard from Scott, now Taylor is practicing how to come off a T-head, pretending that there is a boat in front of us. So she has to crab walk to the side far enough to safely pull away without hitting another vessel. The next objective is to have her dock into a slip. First, Tay's leaving the marina and doing a U-turn to come back in. Her first attempt into the dock, she didn't like the approach that she had, and she was getting pushed over by the current and the wind. So instead of panicking, she simply turned around, backed out of the dock, and reset to try again. One thing we learned for sure is that if your approach isn't great and you don't feel right about your heading, then simply back out and try again. There's no shame if you don't get it right on the first try, and it's better to know when to reset than to get yourself in a sticky situation. On the second attempt, Taylor backed right into the slip. She also practiced docking bow in, which I didn't get on camera too well, but overall she did a great job. Her first time docking a 48-foot boat, and it was awesome. Next up was to go out into the harbor to talk through anchoring and how to drop our anchor for some more practice.
So we're gonna just keep this setup then. You two are gonna work together. We'll have Taylor at the helm operating the windlass from here, or you can operate the foot controls there. So whenever you're going into an anchorage, you know, you're checking charts, you're making sure you have depth, you're looking for other boats that are anchored. It's always good if you're not sure how much chain they have out or rode, you give them a call on the radio. Hey, we're coming in to anchor. How much line do you have out or chain you have out?
Would that be on 16?
16. They may not answer. They may have the radio off if they're at anchor and relaxing. Let's go ahead into neutral. Then you're picking your spot. All right, so let's say we like this spot and right around in this area. Now, when we pick our spot, we're gonna make sure we're turned into the wind. You always want the wind kind of blowing you back. So we know that the wind is coming from southwest. So let's spin the boat 180. And this is before you drop any chain or anything. All right, so see those flags are pretty straight. So this is it. So you can stop us right here. So now we're saying, okay, this looks like a great place to anchor. So we're going to be in neutral. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is drop the anchor until it hits bottom, and you'll be able to tell because the chain will kind of move a little bit. But you know, you can also guess with this much 10 feet of depth, which is really 15 feet, but 10 feet. And then once that chain hits, we're going to then slowly let it out, and we may bump back just in reverse a little bit, but we're not trying to set the anchor. We're just spooling out chain. So let's go ahead and go down with the anchor. All right, now stop for a sec. Now we're just going to bump it in reverse and then back into neutral. All right, good. Now go back to neutral. Are we in neutral?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. All right, now continue to let chain out. And we're just going to simulate letting out, 75. All right, yeah, we're stopped. So let's pretend that that's 75 feet. What you do then, once you've let out that scope, if you're going to use a bridle or a snubber, you'd go ahead and attach that and then let out that until it's tight and your chain is slack. When you're anchoring, you just don't want that pressure on the windlass. The windlass isn't going to hold you. So if you had a bridle, you would hook that up on those two cleats there, put it on the chain, let that hook go through the bow pulpit, and when it's tight and the chain is slack, then you're good. Then you would set the anchor. All right? You just don't want to pull on the windlass to set.
The anchor when the bridle's on.
Yes, or if you're not going to use a bridle, you would hook up a better line than that, one with a little bit more strength. You would hook it to that chain, take the slack off the chain, then set. All right? You just don't want to set against the windlass because it rips them right out the deck.
Setting is reversing the anchor.
Lightly reversing. Wind can do it too. All you need is about a knot of pressure to set.
Oh, really? No throttle? Or no
You don't need a lot. Maybe a 1,000 RPM is the worst you need. So let's say you just hooked up your bridle, you're sitting here, you want to find 2 points that you're going to watch. All right, so like this little pile of rocks is what I've been looking at, and then you can use this flag here. They don't have to be too far apart, but those are going to be your reference points to make sure you're not moving. Once you find that, then if you wanted to set, if you don't have enough wind pushing you to set, you could back it into reverse. I don't want to do that because it'll rip it right out because we don't have much let out. And then let it hold for like 5 seconds. All right, and you could you could run this up to like 1,000 RPMs if you wanted, but a lot of people unset their anchor when they think they're setting it, because they rip it out. They'll do 2,000 RPMs. Oh, it's not holding, my anchor doesn't hold. No, your anchor holds, you're just ripping it out. The idea here is when we drop the anchor and then we let out all that chain, the chain is running along the sea floor, and then it has this catenary that goes up to the boat. You never want to pull it tight, because that pulls the anchor up and out. The anchor's holding power is when it's pulling parallel with the seabed. So that's why you let out all that chain, and the weight of the chain helps keep that anchor set. So you just need a little tug, and then it'll eventually fill in itself with just the wind pulling the boat. It'll keep settling.
right.
And then to retrieve, you never want to just let the windlass pull the boat to the anchor.
You
So
come up on it, right?
you want to forward, and whoever's on the bow pulpit is looking where the anchor chain is and kind of pointing. And you're going to use your throttle, your transmission, to kind of steer towards that.
Gotcha.
while you're hitting this up. Or Kevin can hit up as you're steering the boat, and it's bumping in and out because you don't want to overrun the anchor.
Gotcha.
And you just need a little bit.
All right, so Kev, this is all.
Yeah, so a little bit forward. We're pretty much on it, but let's just go a little
Okay, you
more.
bring it up a little bit to tighten it up, then you can tell. Wrong one.
So we're right over it right now.
Okay, then come on up.
Okay, starboard forward.
All right, now you take back control of the boat, because now you're broke free, and if you're in a tight anchorage, you need to be controlling it. Let him worry about the anchor, cleaning it and everything. I love being at anchor. That's my favorite.
So should I back into, or should I park into one of those spots now, or do like a side tie?
Let's do a side tie.
Okay. Should I do the original side tie that we're gonna go to, since the trash can is?
Trash can's gone, it's into a slip now.
I was gonna say.
So you can pick either dock. And then let's spin it around since we have our fenders down, and let Kevin know to get lines ready.
We're gonna
We're gonna do a side tie.
to,
Listen, I need advice from the dock man, or the line master.
just so that you're not rushing.
To wrap up our training, Taylor docked the boat one last time at the T head and did so rather competently. She just spun this boat around, pulled up to the T head, and backed the stern right into the dock. I, on the other hand, had some practice tossing the lines, which I quickly learned I am no line master and need a lot more practice. It was a good lesson for me to have some patience when Taylor is tossing the lines to get a short tie to the dock, because it isn't that easy. Finally, after I did get the boat attached to the dock, I hopped off and tied off more lines to ensure the boat was nice and secure. And now, training was officially over.
All right.
All right.
Good job, Tail.
Thank you.
I think they're graduating.
Graduating.
Yes.
All right.
And it will soon be time to leave the dock all by ourselves for the very first time. In the next episode, we head back across the Chesapeake to our home marina, which is no easy feat for your first solo cruise, but that's why we got the training and we're now better prepared for the adventure. A big thanks to Scott and his wife Terry for training us. We really enjoyed the experience, and if anyone is looking for a surveyor, definitely reach out to Scott. I'll leave his details in the description below, and it was just an absolute pleasure working with him. For everyone who made it this far, thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next week as we cross the Chesapeake Bay.